Hello and welcome back to the great and powerful colony of Sol, which I mean is generally great and powerful outside of the fact that it is mostly commanded by Sol, who is kind of the worst. Just saying, he's terrible. Doris will eventually rise up in revolution, glorious revolution that will likely bring civilization to its knees, and then eventually. Well, you kind of gotta hope that it'll rebuild civilization. If it doesn't, that's gonna be pretty bad. But I'm pretty sure Doris needs at least, like, 5 learning or something before she has enough brains to make, like, I don't know, some manifesto of revolution. Which I'm pretty sure is necessary for that entire situation. Oh, are you guys so sad about the whole oxygen thing? Can you all get over it? I mean, we got a couple oxygen generators. Come on, I know that you're basically living in... just chilling out in the most oxygen-deprived area. It's basically a vacuum when it comes to oxygen. But, you know, you're just gonna have to live with it, honestly. I'm sorry, but you guys can't be that concerned about a lack of oxygen. Not right now. I mean, the colony's just beginning. Once something actually goes downhill, which is clearly not going that downhill yet, then you can start complaining about the oxygen. But you have to wait for that moment, people. Come on. Anyway, we're going to get another algae deoxidizer set up because apparently these people are going to be really particular about their level of oxygen. And, of course, we have insufficient oxygen generation, which is a small problem, just saying. Dude, what did you just level up, Sol? I think he got a little bit extra athletics. That tends to be what people get when they level up, because basically athletics occurs in basically everything that they do, so there is that. Are you done, Doris? Are you done with your research yet? She's not. We're still trying to get farming tech done, because farming tech is going to be necessary for anything regarding consistent food sources. And then I guess... oh, what do we really need after that? Well, that's going to also get us the algae terrarium. That's the next most important thing that we need to build, because right now we can generate oxygen, but we can't really get rid of the CO2. So if we just do a little bit of algae terrarium, that should allow us to basically get rid of all that CO2. I guess it is really going to be liquid piping next, so that we can start making a waterfall, because that's totally a valid and useful way to spend our many, many resources at this point. Because clearly, if we can do anything out here, it's going to be building a waterfall, even though that's arguably useful. Yeah. Yeah, look, we haven't thought this through all that well, but it's good enough. Oh, look at all that coal. I mean, that coal is filled in a room just covered in chlorine, but it looks pretty scrumptious. Dude, where are we actually going to head out to? Because clearly what we're going to need is algae, because we don't have even close to enough algae at this moment. We have basically nothing. In saying that we have basically nothing, we do need to build a storage compactor to put all of that algae into. But if we take a look, we have 2,260 kilograms of algae. And honestly, while that sounds like a ton of algae, that's not very much. That's not enough. I think... yeah, we already have 41 kilograms of algae in these things alone. And... we need more algae. So the best way to get algae is really... it looks like we got a big algae pocket here, which is going to be a perfect opportunity to grab some stuff. And it's pretty hot down there. We might be able to make some cool plants, because there are plants that require specific temperatures to grow, like the peppers. There are little peppers that we can make. If, of course, first off, we ever find any of the peppers to get the seeds, which I'm pretty sure we don't have right now. Yeah, I'm gonna guess it's all, yeah, basically just mealworm seeds. I mean, we do have 21 mealworm seeds, so that is pretty significant. But we definitely don't have the pepper seeds. which are pretty nice. I mean, the peppers aren't really all that edible. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to put the peppers themselves at like a 1 edible, because nobody can actually eat them. But we can turn them into a lot of nice stuff at the cookery station, which is not at all what it's called, but, you know, close enough. So, yeah, there is that. There we go. We'll get algae up in that storage compactor, and hopefully we can start getting that filled up. Oh, man, look at it. The nature reserve is almost going to be broken into, which is honestly arguably a bad thing because, I mean, we really could have just preserved nature by never having gone here to begin with. And when I think about it, that is actually almost certainly a better way to have preserved nature than what we're doing right now. But you know what? How about you get over it? It's good enough, I guess. I mean, we're trying. Question mark? Not really. We're not trying that hard, let's be honest. We're just trying to make, like, basically a theme park themed around this particular exact cave, which is a really weird theme, to be honest. Okay, so we got our research done there for the planting, so we can actually put in some planter boxes, which I guess we can grow stuff, I guess over here. I mean, this is where we're keeping the microbe musher. So we'll put like 5 planters there. Interesting that the old planters actually had wire things to show how high the plant would be. That is quite useful, honestly. It would have been nice if they kept that in the legit version of the game, but I guess not. We don't get such nice things. We do also need a place to stick these algae terrariums, and we're gonna need that area to be basically at the very bottom of the colony and filled to the brim with CO2. So I think we're gonna, off to the side of this, just make this room here that's going to be filled with CO2 and should be perfect. We do need gas permeable tiles. That is kind of a thing that we need to get at some point. So we probably, honestly, if we're really gonna be legit about this, probably should have done gas piping prior to liquid piping, so we got those gas permeable tiles, but you know what? I don't care. It's good enough. Look, good enough is all that Saul cares about, and if it's all that Saul cares about, I mean, that's all that we care about, right? Right? No? Yeah, no. No, we do definitely care about more than just good enough. We want the best colony ever, and really the best colonies generally, one, have a purpose outside of existence. Hence, we've got this nice nature preserve, and usually has a morb. Yeah, we're gonna get a morb in here. It's gonna be great. I mean, okay, it's gonna be arguably great because I'm pretty sure a morb is not something we actually want anywhere near the colony, but it's close enough, and you know what? We're all gonna be happier for it, and if anyone isn't happy about a morb in our colony, well, why don't you get the heck out, because you are a disgusting morb discriminator. You are looking at this nice, cute little morb. Just look at him. Look at him just moving around. He is adorable. And you're coming in and being like, yo, morbs can't live here. Morbs have to have their own part of town, their own morb ghetto, which is basically what this is, let's be honest. I mean, I don't even know why this morb is here or how it survives, but this is not a place that a morb should be living. It's pretty bad. Yeah, we do not accept that sort of talk towards morbs at this point. That's not acceptable. So, yeah. Take your unwanted views regarding morbs elsewhere, and we'll just continue to do our thing. So we should be building a nice little room here. And that's going to be filled with algae terrariums. And hopefully we can start processing a lot of this CO2 and get it into oxygen. Because if we don't, we're going to be in a bad situation, let's be honest. It's already to the point where this area basically kills people. I mean, we could technically probably kill Saul in here. But honestly, if we're going to kill Saul, we have to do it in a much more legit manner. We can't just, like, throw him in some room that happens to be a vacuum. We actually have to build a vacuum chamber and then execute him in said vacuum chamber as a very specific move, because although Saul is, of course, a terrible leader and has the most blank face in existence, he deserves to die in a manner that is befitting of his station, which is basically being a nublet, but, you know. Okay, we got the 2 algae terrariums set up. We should have people bringing stuff to start running those soon enough. And that should, in theory, help to turn this area into a bit more habitable of a section. Because right now, generally work is quite slow because everyone is suffocating as they build stuff. Which, one, is very bad for craftsmanship, because I don't know if you've checked recently, but when you're suffocating, you generally don't do your best work. That's usually the case. Doris wouldn't know because she lives in, like, the high-class area with the research bench and stuff. But everyone else is basically well aware of this. What was that sound there? I don't even know what that sound was. There was some sort of nice sound, and it sounded like something good happened, but I don't think anything good happened recently. Life has just continued as usual, quite honestly. So, Doris, how is your learning at this point? Doris's learning is already at 2. Actually, that's quite significant. I didn't think she'd learn stuff that quickly. That's pretty good. We're gonna have some legit researching going on with Doris learning that much. And with some legit research, we can actually build a good quantity of stuff and get out into, like, Morb Paradise. Or we can get... Dude, we can get a couple Puffs. I mean, I don't know if Puffs have to eat. And if we take them away from their contaminated oxygen, if that will kill them. But I think in the name of the nature preserve, we have to at least try. Because, I guess we have to risk nature to save it? Question mark? Yeah. Yeah, is that the philosophy we're going with? Yeah, sure. Good enough. Whatever. Look, we'll be fine. Don't worry about it. It looks like we are actually starting to convert this into a more livable area. Once we open this up, I'm thinking there's a good chance that the CO2 is going to go down here. Which, honestly, is not necessarily the best idea. I'd prefer it to head down into the terrarium chamber. So we may need some sort of, like, probably some permeable tiles along the sides, and then a big CO2 room where we stick Saul's dead body once he's been offed by probably Doris during some revolutionary act. Doris, just make sure that whatever revolution you undergo doesn't kill too many people, because we do need some workers to run this colony. I mean, the workers' revolution cannot execute every worker in the process, or else basically it fails in its goal because there's no workers to then revolt afterwards and to benefit from said revolt. Just saying, Doris, you gotta think this through. This is why Doris needs a lot more learning before she usurps things. I say that, 2 more learning, jeez. That is ridiculous. Like, she is learning so freaking quickly. Oh, and each of the levels of learning also increases the speed at which they learn? That's plus 30% skill learning? Oh my word. Dude, Doris is gonna be freaking intelligent in like 7 seconds. That's ridiculous. Well, Doris, good for you. I guess that you're going to really take control of this colony at some point. I had my questions about her, but apparently, nope. She is perfectly fine. She's gonna do it. Anyway, with the Great Revolution, the great knowledge that Doris is in fact going to cause a revolution at some point, and that her intelligence is just making her absolutely ridiculously good at that. That will bring us for now to the end of this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. Next time, we should be building up a bit more of the CO2 room, hollowing this area out, and starting to get into the actual nature preserve soon enough. And hopefully that'll be quite nice. But anyway, until next time, thanks for watching, and of course, as always, enjoy the rest of your day.